Greetings, Grey Witch here. So today I wanted to show you my huge, massive muscle car collection. So up first, the Vapid Hot Knife. This is based on the 1934 Ford 3-window coupe. And is a cool little car to drive, but it does not handle very well. Up next we have the Vapid Hustler, which is based on the 1932 Ford coupe, and this one handles a little bit better. For open wheel vehicles, if you hit anything, it's just a disaster. That's pretty much what happens with these vehicles. Alright, so next up we have the Vapid Dominator GTX, which is essentially the 2015 to present Ford Mustang. This one is a very good performing vehicle, and one I would definitely recommend for you to put in your garage, especially if you need a racing muscle car. So next to that we have the Vapid Pisswater Dominator, the fastest of the Dominators, and the racing variant of the original Dominator. Here we have the OG Dominator, and this is based on the 5th gen Ford Mustang. Now, one of my personal favorites of all the muscle cars in the game, the Vapid Dominator GTT. Now, this is based on the 1969 to 70 Ford Mustang. This is John Wick's car, and this is a very good car to drive around. Now, it is a muscle car, so it will be a little bit slidey in the rear end, but that's what makes it sexy. And next to this one, we have the Vapid Ellie, which is based on the 1967 Ford Mustang / Shelby GT500. And it's a pretty good car to drive. Up next, we have the Vapid Click. Now, this one's actually one of those cars that you kind of have to find your way into the way that car handles. It's kind of weird, but once you get used to driving it, it's actually a very good performing vehicle. It is based on the 1951 custom Ford coupe. Right here we have one of my absolute favorite muscle cars in the game, the Vapid Blade, which is based on the 1965 Ford Falcon. And I've won more races with this muscle car than any of these others in this game. It's not the fastest, but it does handle really well. Here we have the Vapid Slam Band, which is based on the 1953 to 56 Ford F-Series. And of all the vehicles in the game, there's only one that I really truly want, and that's the lost version of this vehicle with the full back. And one day I will own that vehicle. And here we have a vehicle I affectionately call the Land Shark. This is the Vapid Chino. Is based on the 1970 Ford Thunderbird / 1965 Lincoln Continental. And this car is a boat, and it is fun to drive around. So now we're into the Bravado section. The first one is the Bravado Rat Truck, which is based on the 1920s Ford Model A. And it's a cool looking vehicle. It has nearly zero traction. It pretty much needs 4 or 5 people to sit in the bed of the truck if you're going to drive it down the road. Another one of my personal favorites is the Bravado Gauntlet Classic Custom. This is based on the 1970 Plymouth Superbird. Here we have the OG Bravado Gauntlet, which is based on the 1st gen Dodge Challenger. So here we have the Bravado Redwood Gauntlet, which is a racing variant of the OG Gauntlet. It's a little bit faster than the original, but I think it handles exactly the same. And for my final Bravado, we have the Bravado Gauntlet Hellfire, which is based on the 2018 Dodge SRT Demon / Hellcat. This is another one, if you're looking for a good racing muscle car, that might be a choice for you to own, because this one has pretty decent handling, and it's not as slidey in the rear end as some of the others. So now we're into the DeClassy section, and this is the DeClassy Burger Shot Stallion, which is a racing variant of the original DeClassy Stallion. And I don't drive this too much. This is not one of those cars that I particularly prefer to drive. I will drive it if necessary, but it's more of an ornament than anything else. And next to that, in its original form, is the DeClassy Stallion, which is based on the 1968 to 71 Oldsmobile Cutlass. And like I said about the previous one, it's not one of my favorite ones to drive, but I will if necessary. It looks pretty cool, and that's all that counts. So now we're on to the DeClassy Yosemite, which is based on the 1967 to 72 second gen Chevy C10. And I've got this one painted up pretty much and set up like farm truck, if you know what that is. It's pretty much just a drag racing sleeper car of awesomeness. And while I use this one to pretty much just cruise around the lobbies, this is the one I actually use in races. It's another DeClassy Yosemite, it's just my racing version of it. So here we have the drift version of the DeClassy Yosemite, which pretty much is just a wide-bodied version with the Chargers on the hood. I mean, other than that, it's pretty much the same vehicle. Might be a little bit faster, I don't know. I haven't really had a chance to compare them, but I really dig the way it looks. So this monstrosity is the DeClassy Tulip, which is based on the 1972 Chevelle Malibu. And it has one of the coolest grills, and I just love the pipes coming out of the engine. It's just crazy look. I love driving this one. It doesn't handle that great, but it looks pretty awesome. And here we have the OG DeClassy Sabre Turbo, which is based on the Chevy Chevelle. Still one of my favorite muscle cars to drive in the game. Another one of my favorite muscle cars, it's the DeClassy Impaler, and this is based on the Chevy Impala. It's another one with just really great looking lines and can be customized really cool. My next car is one that I affectionately call Captain Jack Sparrow. Now, this is the DeClassy Vamos, and it is based on the Chevy Nova, and it's my pirate car, all black. It's a pretty cool one to drive, but it can be a little squirrely. And here we have another OG muscle car, the DeClassy Vigero, which is based on the 1969 Chevy Camaro. It's a pretty cool car. I don't drive it as much as I used to, but it's a decent little ride, especially when you can get it for free off the street. One of my absolute favorites, the DeClassy Voodoo Custom. Now, I really actually prefer this the original way, if I could just paint it. I don't like the lowrider effects and stuff, and the wheels are too small, but I really do love that car. And here we have the DeClassy Tampa. And this one is based on the 1965 to 69 Chevy Corvair. It's a pretty cool looking little car. So now we're into the Impante section. And here we have the Arbiter GT, which is based on the 1970 Pontiac GTO. and this one is quickly becoming one of my favorite cars to drive. So here we have the Empante Phoenix, which is based on the Pontiac Trans Am / Firebird. And one of the cars I think has the coolest hood design ever is the Empante Ruiner. It's based on the 1982 to 84 Trans Am. I just love that hood scoop. It just, I don't know, it's a real aggressive look. Goes great with that car. So here we have the Empante Nightshade, which is based on the 1970 to 73 Chevy Camaro. This is one that I don't drive enough, because I always seem to forget that I have it in the garage. But it's a good little race car too. Now here we have one of many Empante Dukes. Now this is based on the second to third gen Dodge Charger. And really good performing car. I drive all three of the ones that I have, and it's one of those ones you just can't go wrong with getting. So here's the Duke of Death, which is a variant of the Empante Dukes, and it's pretty much my mission car. I use this for anything that I want to do, or I want to just go busting through crowds or whatever it is. It's a great performing vehicle and can take a beating. Now here we have another Dukes, which is the Empante Beater Dukes, which is basically just a variant of the first Dukes. But this one has a lot more customization options, and I suggest you check it out if you like the Dukes. Now we have the Albany Buccaneer, which is based on the 1963 to 65 Buick Riviera. It's one of those cars that have really good lines, some really sweet curves. If you paint it just right, it looks amazing. Another one of my all-time favorite cars in the game, the Albany Hermes, which is based on the 1949 to 51 Mercury 8. This car is a beast. It's fast when it shouldn't be, and it'll roll over on you in a heartbeat. Another OG muscle car, the Chevelle Picador, which is based on the 1972 Chevy El Camino. It's a pretty cool little car, and I wish it had got a Benny's treatment or something like that. This just needs more custom options. Here's the Willard Faction, which is based on the 1980 Buick Regal and Grand National. It's a really cool car, and a friend of mine had one of these when I was in high school, and it will move. It's a very fast car. Next to that, we have the Shyster Deviant, which is based on the 1972 AMC Javelin Custom, which has another wicked looking hood. And that grille is a very menacing looking muscle car. So here we have the Invetero Coquette Blackfin, which is based on the 1956 to 57 Chevy Corvette. Now here is a car I like to affectionately call Pooh Bear. Now this is my Albany Virgo, and is based on the 1977 to 79 Mercury Cougar. A friend of mine's dad used to have that same exact car, and it's a beast. And here we have my Halloween favorite, the Albany Lurcher, which is based on a hybrid version of a 1965 Buick Riviera and a 67 Cadillac funeral coach. And last but not least, the Albany Manana Custom. And there's another big, huge honking car, which is based on the 1975 Buick LeSabre, and is a pretty cool one to drive. It can also come in a really cool convertible configuration if you want to go that far. Alright, well this is Grey Witch. I hope you enjoyed my muscle car collection. I will see you next time. Peace!